Ja, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Und bei mir habe ich ein Intro-Interview wieder, und zwar von einer Company, die vor ungefähr zwei Ausgaben, also letzten Oktober, November, wie ich hier rüben war, einmal empfohlen habe, und zwar Copper Mountain. Bei mir ist der Jim Rourke, er ist Chairman, Präsident des Unternehmens. Ich bin echt froh, dass das Interview geklappt hat. Wir haben es letztes Mal schon probiert. Diesmal hat es geklappt, weil es extrem spannende Company ist. Vielleicht können Sie sich noch erinnern, im November habe ich gesagt, die Company hat ein Potenzial für einen 10-Bagger. Hat damals 300% in die Spitze zugelegt, ist jetzt wieder ein bisschen retour gekommen, hängt auch sehr stark mit dem Kupferpreis zusammen, und er wird uns jetzt einfach einmal ein Insight in die Firma geben. Jim, thank you to have time. I told this in my German introduction that the first time I get an idea about the company was in last October, November. Recommend this to my subscribers that I think that is one of my favorite stocks on this trip, and I think you have the potential that you are be a 10-bagger. That was my personal feeling. It was around when we are trading at 40 cents. So then you go up immediately and you run always back there to catch up with the stock. So I think you're running up to 130, and now you're coming a little bit down. Right. It has a lot to do with the copper price, for sure. But you're a really exciting story, and I think personally it's still an undervalued story. But first, it is an introduction interview, and we need a little bit more about your company. Where you are in production. This is the first one. You're a production company, not an exploration company. Right. Where you are in production, what is the annual rate, what you produce, and maybe you can say a little bit what you're doing in the first quarter. The first quarter numbers are out, and what is the revenue was there, and what was the cash flow and so on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, as you appreciate, and you said, we're closely tied to the price of copper. And last year, and the early part of last year, of course, the price of copper dropped to around $2. So I think most of the copper mines were struggling a bit. And our average price last year was, our costs, all in, was about $1.54 per pound US.
So you can still live with this low dollar, $2.
That's correct. And so that really caused us to focus, and the mine has made some great strides since you first talked about it in November. In 2014, we put in a secondary crusher to increase our production, and that was a real game changer for us. It was about a $40 million project, on time, on budget, and that gave us about a 33% increase in capacity through the mill. So the mill now runs at about 40,000 ton a day. We produce in the order of 80 million pounds of copper a year, and about 30,000 ounces of gold, and in the order of 300,000 ounces of silver.
So that's a huge production, 40,000 tons.
So our annual revenue last year was in 275 million, but that was low copper price. So with the copper prices up, we should be closer to around 300 million a year in sales.
Wow, that looks great.
Canadian. So
in which area you're working?
Yeah, the nice part about our mine is it's ideally located. We're about 300 kilometers east of Vancouver on the Trans-Canada Highway, Highway 3, and it's an easy drive to go up there and back in a day.
And this is a picture of it?
This is a picture of the mine, yeah.
And this looks like a really serious production.
Oh, for sure.
It's a really serious.
Yeah. We're mining in the order of 100. Guidance is about 180,000 ton a day mining, and lately with some technological changes and improvements, we're doing about 200,000 ton a day.
Do you have an idea? What is really, you produce copper and gold
and silver
and silver? Okay.
And silver.
What is the sensitivity? What's mean when copper going up? I would say 10 cents. What this mean for bottom line?
10 cents increase in the copper price is about $12 million per year to our bottom line for 10 cents. So we're extremely leveraged to the price of copper. And our stock tracks the price of copper.
That brings me then, how many shares are outstanding?
About 133 million.
And
management has just under 10%.
But you have a key shareholder with Mitsubishi also.
Well, Mitsubishi are not corporate shareholders.
Okay.
They bought into the mine directly.
They have a stake in the mine.
That's correct. And they paid about $28 million for their 25%. At the time, and then contributed their 25% of equity, which was about another $27 million. So they're definitely tied into it.
So to calculate it only quick, so they invest around a little bit more than 50 million for 25% of the company, and your market cap is at the moment, I would say, under. About 100
million.
Around 100 million.
Right.
So, but you have 3/4 of that. So that's mean only that what Mitsubishi invest in the beginning, before you're starting, is much higher.
We're undervalued on the market.
Yeah. That's
our cash to NAV's about 0.5. So if you look at all of the institutions that have done analysis on us, they value us a little over 200 million, and we trade about 50% of what they're valuing us. And I think if you look at some of the forecasts, I mean, I think a lot of the securities commissions have us posted for about $1.75 stock.
Yeah.
In that order.
And I think it's not really optimistic. It's more down on the conservative side.
Yeah. Tied closely to copper.
Especially on the copper.
For sure.
Copper. You have more insight than I. But when I look only the news what's coming off, Freeport have problems in Grasberg, in Chile, and on this, and it is so and we know exactly that the copper supply demand is really tight. So the stockpile are really tight. So. What is your personal feeling about the copper price? What do you think? What's happened in the future?
Well, I think if we look at the consensus from the financial institutes, they're saying the copper price is going to go up to the $3 range in the next few years and stay in that range. And this is assuming things are, sort of forecast. But if you look at the Wood Mackenzie report on deficit. We've gone through that period, as we said last year, where price of copper was $2. Nobody started new mines because they couldn't afford to. It wasn't economic. So there's going to be a break in production there, and yet the consumption of copper continues to grow.
Especially with this old new development, electric cars and so on.
For sure. I mean, electric cars typically 70 kilos of copper versus an ordinary car 20 kilos.
I also think that Trump, when you really do this infrastructure plan, what he promised in their election, that need also a lot of coppers.
Oh, for sure. And China now is 50% of the copper consumption, world copper consumption, and their growth is continuing, and also their cars and power.
So that's mean. Do you think the major? First, one question before I come to the next. What is the mine life?
Mine life right now is about 17 years, but we have excellent exploration potential. And we did do a study to make sure that we don't put waste that we have to dispose of within the area that might be the footprint of the pit.
Okay.
And when we include that with the inferred resources, it's about a 28-year mine life. And the inferred, every time we drill it, it's classed as inferred, mainly because there's just not enough drill holes. And,
so the mine life is good, but do you looking for some other options to increase your not production, or do you looking at some M&A or something?
For sure. I mean, number one, our plan, our strategy was always, number one, get the mine working properly, and it's really going well now. We've got an excellent team. We just won for 3 years in a row the safety record for British Columbia, safest mid-sized mine in BC. And so we got a great operating team, we got a good resource, and the mine now is matured. And now we're making some improvements with technological things like GPS positioning of drills and things like that. But generally speaking, the mine is mature, it's steady. So now our business strategy was to look both organically and outside. So organically, we talked about the exploration. We got good potential. We have 2 drills running on site right now.
Okay.
And we're getting some good results, and we'll be putting those out soon. But also, also we've done some drilling underneath the pit, which shows that the mineralization continues at depth. And we've had some excellent intercepts, in the order plus 100 meters of 1% copper, that kind of thing, 0.5. So it's really looking good there. So now, as you say, we have been looking at M&A opportunities or things that are going to be accretive to the shareholders and really improve our value. And last year, I think we looked at about 150 of these projects, and I think the whole story is you got to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. So,
and there was no prince in this 160?
No, well, we got a few that could be. We just have to dress them up a bit.
Okay.
No, so we have some we're following now, and that's hopefully we can find some. And this is a good time because I think the copper price is still a little low, so there's still, you can still purchase them.
Whereas in which area you focus on the area?
Typically the Americas, Canada, U.S., Chile, Peru, those areas.
And coming back to one, you say you win the safety award for mid-size. 40,000 is mid-size?
Yeah, in the mine. I guess the big ones would be Tex, Highland Valley. We have about 440 employees, whereas some of these others have quite a few more.
Yeah, but for the throughput, I think that is it's really a serious production. So if we see it, that's right. It's really serious. No. Jim, I think it was a really great introduction to your company. Next time, hopefully, we can go a little bit deeper. Then we talk a little bit about what's coming up, the plans, and so on. Sure. And maybe you find the prince.
Sure, we're looking for it. So, the key right now is just keep it good and steady. Make a profit. We ended the year with about $30 million cash, paid off about $35 million of our debt. And with the prices going up, we hope to do better in the future. And I think
this will drive the share price too. That when you see all the cash flow coming in and so on, so that the people get more confident in this story.
For sure, we have to perform.
That's for sure.
And we're all shareholders, so that's important.
That's important. That's really important.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for this introduction. Ja, das war ein Startinterview. Also er hat jetzt einmal gesagt, wo sie ihn überall produzieren. Also für mich sind die Nummern ja nach wie vor groß, und er sagt, sie haben in den letzten 3 Jahren den Safety Award gewonnen für eine Mid-Size Production. Für mich ist das schon eine große Produktion. Ich meine, Sie sehen es im Hintergrund, das ist nichts mehr, was Kleins ist. Sie haben auch, 270 Millionen Umsatz, soweit ich mich erinnern kann. Sie haben exzellentes Potenzial. Was ganz wichtig ist, es ist die Kupfer, Gold, Silber Production, was sie haben. Sie sind im BC, das heißt, sie sind nicht irgendwo in einem dritten Weltland, sondern sie sind ungefähr 300 Kilometer von da beheimatet. Das ist also wirklich nahe, das kann man sich auch einmal einen Tag anschauen, wo man hinfährt, die Production sich anschaut und dann wieder zurückfahren. Das ist extrem spannend, sage ich mal, und vor allem, und das war auch interessant, wo ist der Hebel zum Kupferpreis? Er sagt, sie haben den größten Hebel natürlich zum Kupferpreis, und wenn der um 10 Cent steigt, dann macht das bei einem am Jahresende 12 Millionen mehr Gewinn aus. Überlegen Sie, die Company hat eine Market Cap von ungefähr 100 Millionen. Wenn jetzt der Kupferpreis auf $3 steigen sollte, dann sind allein die Steigerungen, was sie haben beim Gewinn, um die 50 Millionen, und das treibt natürlich den Preis dann natürlich nach oben. Sie wissen, ich bin eigentlich sehr zuversichtlich, was Kupfer betrifft, haben auch gefragt, was er so Kupfer meint, was das Angebot und Nachfrage ist. Er hat dann mehrere Studien auch angeführt, wo sie sagen, eigentlich haben wir Unterdeckung von der Kupferproduktion. Jeder der Forecasts ist, dass wir der Kupferpreis um die $3 oder plus haben für die nächsten Jahre. Das alleine waren ungefähr diese 40 Cent Steigerung, die dann 50% bei einer 50 Millionen ungefähr Gewinn ausmacht. Also das ist eigentlich rundherum eine extrem interessante Story. Im ersten Quartal, soweit ich mich erinnern kann, haben sie 20 Millionen Cashflow gemacht bei 100 Millionen Market Cap. Da braucht man nicht wirklich lange überleben. Es ist meines Erachtens nur eine Frage der Zeit, wo man die Aktie wirklich billig abstauben kann. Vielleicht ist jetzt genau in den Sommermonate ein guter Zeitpunkt, wo man das machen kann. Nächstes Mal, wenn ich rüberkomme, werden wir ein bisschen tiefer reingehen, werden die Quartalszahlen uns näher anschauen und dann schauen, was es vielleicht Neues gibt. Expansion ist vor allem auch nicht nur organisch über Exploration gedacht, sondern auch, Sie schauen sich M&A-Sachen an. Sie haben letztes Jahr 160 Projekte durchsucht, aber er hat gesagt, es ist sehr schwierig, den Prinzen unter dem zu finden. Es gibt dort sehr viele Frösche draußen und vielleicht hat er dort dann schon den Prinzen gefunden und hoffentlich keinen Frosch. Das war's von mir, Copper Mountain, in Mai 2017 Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joe. It was great.